Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am super excited to do a flip through of this bullet journal that I recently finished. I did actually start a new one already, which I might show you a little peek into that. So yeah, let's get started. This is the Leuchtturm Pocket Bullet Journal, and this is the soft cover in the color Army Green. And I will say I tried to find this exact same one, but I couldn't find it anymore. So I think they discontinued this particular, pocket softcover Army Green notebook. Not too sure though. And for this next one, this is a hardcover. I've only used it for about a week, and I will say I think I prefer the soft cover, but I might have to give this more of a chance, so we will see. Didn't do much on the inner cover. Here is the table of contents. I just basically sectioned it off by the month, as well as like certain key things like my monthly kit checklist and like design progress stuff. And very unintentionally, I started this August 2022 and I finished this August 2023. I didn't intend for that to happen at all. And as for a little context behind this bullet journal, it's more of like a creative outlet for me. So I didn't use this every single day, and there's a mixture of like daily spreads and weekly spreads and doodles and stuff like that, so it's not purely functional. I think just because I didn't really put any pressure on myself to use it every day, I really enjoyed working through this bullet journal. I put a bunch of vinyls in the inner cover. I'm not going to talk through every single spread because I think that would take way too long, but I will point out fun things. For example, this stressful week emoji. Nothing has changed since then. Oh, grateful for my job. This was when I made ratatouille, and I mentioned this before, but typically for recipes, I just memorize them, but I write down the ingredients. So yeah. And I had a little sushi date, which is a very fond memory. This was when we got our giant printer, and I named the printer Bob. This is when I got some new bullet point markers, and I did a little swatch. These are actually really nice colors. Oh my gosh. This definitely reminded me of them, so I'm going to try to use them this week. And then I passed my driving test. I can't believe it's been almost a year. Wow. This is a little bittersweet day because that's the day he left. And so this is a spooky neighborhood, and this is still one of my favorite washies. I especially love the ha 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 foiling. This was when I first started therapy, which I stopped going to therapy, and I don't think I explicitly mentioned it because I don't know, I knew a lot of you were rooting for me, but I don't think this therapist met my needs, so I stopped going, and honestly, I kind of just gave up on looking for a better match, but I think I should try again. Here I was using a craft paper sticky note, and I basically just fold it over the page, as you can see. And I actually quite like the look of that, so yeah. I love this little bathtub, which it's like a cauldron. This was when I started working on the 2022 monthly kits, and it was a lot. Actually, it was only the first half. But yeah, I created a little checklist so I could see my progress. A little clothing haul. As you can see, I experiment a lot with like the way I do my headings. Oh my gosh, this emoji is still true. I hate phone calls. I usually let them build up, and then I just knock through like 5 phone calls in a day. This was when I watched Smile, which is like a horror movie. And this was around the time Taylor Swift's Midnights came out. So I wrote, I have this thing where I get older but never wiser, which is true as well. And then, oh, this was insane. So I was working on the 2023 holidays and I was very ambitious. I made, so the general holidays like New Year's, Valentine's, etc. That's all the green ones. And then these are Jewish holidays. The pink ones are US holidays. Orangey yellow is Canadian holidays. And then I realized I missed a few of the US holidays. So those are the two pink ones. These are Hindu holidays. These are Chinese holidays, Islamic holidays, UK holidays, Australian holidays, Asian holidays part 1, 2 more Chinese holidays. These are Pride holidays. Then we have Christian holidays, and then 2 more Pride holidays. And then I was done. So each of these bullet points, they were design. And it took me, oh my gosh, I felt like I was going insane. But I'm so happy that I was able to do all of them because I knew that like it meant a lot to a lot of you. And then if you were here around November last year, you would know what happened. So I had this like plan for Black Friday weekend, but right before Black Friday, I had a new release that was that went above and beyond my expectations in sales, which obviously is an amazing thing, but consequently I had to skip out on Black Friday. So that's why I wrote update, laugh out loud. Here I wrote a quotation from one of Taylor Swift's songs, and I made the biggest blunder. You can read it and you can laugh at me. And then this little sad emoji. Black Friday announcements canceled, and Black Friday weekend is also canceled. But the silver lining was this was the first time in 7 years where we got to celebrate my mom's birthday without being overwhelmed by Black Friday, because her birthday is November 24th and Black Friday's always around that time. So yeah. And oh, I really like what I did here, the little calendar on the sticky note. This was when I got my wisdom tooth extracted, so I was like thinking about gelato, cold things. A little art haul from Jackson's Art Supplies. We have gouache, palettes, paintbrushes, paper, and colored pencils. I really like these doodles. I should turn this emoji into like a little sticker. Here I was swatching some new pens and inks that I got. This was given to me by a friend in Japan, and this was my mom's birthday. I had a virtual movie date night and we watched Tar, which still remains to be one of my favorite movies. I highly recommend Tar. And then we also watched Stalker, which is like an older movie. Here I was watching a YouTube video called The Science of Sugar in the context of like baking and cooking. And that was very interesting. So I wrote down a bunch of notes and I wrote, why am I watching this? I got some new Tombow dual brush pen markers. So I was making swatches. Started my sourdough. That was day 1. And then I got some skincare in. I am honestly the worst at skincare. Like in my daily life, I love routine, but for some reason, I cannot stick to a skincare routine. But yeah, I met up with a friend at a cafe and we got a cookie, some macarons, and I got my Americano. This is my December monthly and I really like these colors. Conflicting feelings. I feel like I failed. I feel like I overall failed as a person this year, personally and as a business owner. I'm not gonna keep reading. Here I started some habit trackers, which this is actually really fun, so I might actually start doing that again. I don't know why I stopped. Random thought, dark chocolate celebration cookies are bomb, which I still agree with. Life is meh sometimes. We had a shop reopening, which was super stressful, and I doodled a little self-portrait of myself. Ashy skin, 20-day-old hair, eye bags, lots of stress pimples. And then I drew this bikini bread. Really random doodles. This was when I announced the subscriptions. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it has been almost a year. That is insane. This is getting closer to 2023. My day in doodles. That's cute. I meant to make a doodle of all of the cooking and to make a doodle of all the things I cooked and baked in the month of January, but I never got around to finishing that. Ooh, I really like this daisy theme. I used colored pencils. My friend and I went to watch the menu, which I quite enjoyed. So I doodled a few things. This was when we first launched the subscription. So for Christmas, my dad got me a box of these like chocolate truffles. They were like premium top tier chocolate truffles. They were delicious. What I did was every night after dinner, I would take this like little piece of truffle and cut it into thirds, and then my mom, my dad, and I, we would all share it. It became a tradition for 11 days, and that was quite lovely. Here I did a little swatch test of all of the Tombow drawer brush pens. I don't think I've purchased any since then, so this is actually still up to date. I made an entire video about this, so I will try to remember to link it. I drew little nerdy glasses for the headers. Why was I happy? My favorite like protein / snack bars are called RX bars, and they're typically like $2 to $3 per bar, which is really expensive, but just like randomly one day I found them on sale where it was like 12 for $18, which I was super pumped about, and I drew this emoji that said chill. I was overly excited. Here I created a section for the 2023 monthly kits. However, I actually redid this tracker later on, which is why I haven't checked anything off. I made a little infographic thing for the fountain pen beginner's guide video that I made. And then this was me doing some sketches of people walking around at the mall. This is still one of my favorite pages to date. Some sketches from La La Land. As you can see, I really like making little doodles like this with faces. This was when a customer sent me a bunch of snacks from Trader Joe's. I was super excited. Ooh, and then this was kind of like... Okay, that completely startled me. Oh my god. Okay, this was a replica. Okay, maybe replica is not the right word, but I copied this from one of Van Gogh's paintings, and you would know that recently I did a master artist series with Van Gogh featuring this as one of the items. So yeah, I actually forgot I did this. And this was the tracker that I was talking about that I redid. I basically made it like a progress bar for each of the kit formats that I needed to do. And then I told myself after I finished each bar, I would get a treat. And I actually only ended up getting a treat for, I think, the croissant. I don't think I ended up getting anything else just because I was so busy. But I'm totally cool with that. This is like an hourly / checklist hybrid. More pen swatches. This was my spread dedicated to sardines from Portugal. I told you at the very beginning of the video, I wasn't lying when I said this is a creative outlet and not a very functional bullet journal. This was when I started doing my monthly spreads with like the color for work and color for personal, and I actually really like this, and I continued it into this new bullet journal as well. This is some sort of modern thing that I tried. Let me grab it. So I had this space and I started making doodles that made absolutely no sense. And a lot of you liked it so much that I turned it into a coloring card that I gave out as a freebie for my birthday sale. And also, a lot of you mentioned that you would be interested in a coloring book of sorts. So let me know if I should do something like this. But I combined this set of doodles with, where is it? These doodles. So that is how I kind of came up with this card. So you can see like the fish and the whatever this is, like a dinosaur over here, but then like the bird is from here and the bee is from here. So yeah, it's like a combined card. I had a lot of fun doing that. This is my list of things that I have been putting off, but I know I eventually need to do them. And oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. I think there are a few things in this bullet journal that I need to migrate into this bullet journal because there are things that are still ongoing. So yeah, I will do that when I have some time. And then this is my medical tracker that I started, and as you can see, I didn't finish because I wrote stopping because all of the really bad days are making me feel worse. Laughing my ass off. So yeah, the black indicates really bad days. And the idea was that I wanted this to be like super colorful, but my bad days ended up outnumbering all of the good days. And I got very sad from that. So I stopped tracking. Here I did kind of like a Dutch store sort of style because I had new releases and I wanted to just like have it for reference. And then on the back, I wrote down my chocolate or matcha snack bar recipe. You can either use cocoa powder or matcha powder and it works either way. This was when we moved to the new office space, and my July monthly with more of the doodles. Gonna flip through this part very quickly because I just did a planner update for July. Another one of my project checklists. This time no treats because again, with the previous checklist, I didn't even end up getting any treats, so yeah. Here I was brainstorming whether I wanted to do a tiramisu cake or an olive oil cake for my birthday, and I ended up baking an olive oil cake, and it was delicious. All of the washi swatches from the June pre-order. My favorite pens. And then these last 4 pages I haven't shown. I decided to make a list of 24 goals before I turn 24. And it's a mixture of some serious goals and some silly goals. Like for example, I do want to apply to graduate school. So that would be like a serious, life goal. But also do a push-up. I have never been able to do a push-up and I would like to do so within the next year. And I couldn't think of like more, so again, this is something else that I probably will migrate into this bullet journal. And to end off, I wrote, it's okay if not all of these goals are met. So that is my completed bullet journal. It's a mishmash of really random stuff, and that's honestly why I love it so much. And I'll show you a little bit of my new one. Again, this is a hardcover. Started with this Protect Your Peace vinyl. And then this is a table of contents. First page is my August in review. I'm not doing a doodle every day, but just like the key things. This is my August monthly. I will talk more about this in my August planner update, but so far loving it. Using the Starry Night washi. And these are my only spreads so far. So yeah, I think starting this like pocket bullet journal was like one of my better decisions of last year, and I definitely see myself doing this basically for the rest of my life. So yeah, I hope you got some inspiration from this, and I will see you next week. Bye.